Well, good morning, recovery community. Welcome to, I guess, Alcoholics Public. I was kind of making a joke in one of my more previous videos about calling this Alcoholics Public, but you know what? I think it's fitting. Just a bunch of alcoholics sitting around arguing about who's doing alcoholism and sobriety and recovery the correct way. You know, whole lot of arguing going on here, and I am a big contributor to all the arguing that's been going on. So I have been wasting seemingly a lot of your guys' time on Rick from Sober Start. I don't see it as a waste of my own time, but I am trying to build a community here, and my community seems to want nothing to do with that man. I got to let you guys know my heart is always towards the alcoholic, and I'm not the most intelligent guy in the world, and I don't know everything. Okay? And I've been listening to some of the people in my comment section. A few people have been trying to make some cooler heads are prevailing, I should say. So we're not going to do the interview, obviously, right? And that's all well and good. And I think that with that, if there was to ever be some sort of interview like that, it probably should be with someone well more qualified than me. I have 9 months alcohol free right now. And I've had 10 years and 10 years, 9 years, 10 months. That's the longest stretch that I've ever made it. I consider that quite an amount of time, a significant amount of time. But I have a lot to learn. These last couple of days, I've been kind of taking shots at old Samantha because I don't like bullying. Okay. But people that don't want to be or don't consider themselves part of the recovery community, and I'm trying to help this person and things like that, right? I'm wasting time. I'm wasting people's times. And someone like Exo Submariner, I call him Submantha, he may have gotten on my radar for coming onto my channel and highlighting himself. And I consider him to be a bully. For quite a few months, he's taken shots at me. I've never said a thing about it. I pop into that channel from time to time ever since I met him or met those people, and I see the things that they say. And they're usually just talking shit about people, about me, about Rick, whoever, right? And that's all well and good. It's on their own channel. I don't care. It was just that when he came over to my channel to highlight himself as the Submariner, I found that disrespectful. Even in turn, though, I went even over onto their channel and I said something that I was disrespectful. When I did that, a fella by the name of A Callous Mind, who I do respect, and I can take nothing from the guy. The guy has done nothing towards me, and I do respect the guy. So when he felt offended that I came to their channel and said what I said, I thought to myself, okay, well, he came over to my channel, right? But I decided to leave it alone. I don't want to walk into your guys' home and rub mud all over your carpet. I don't want to disrespect all the other people in there that are not disrespectful and are not cruel and are not bullies. I don't want to have problems with anybody, honestly. I'd like to build a recovery community. I'd like to talk to people who are in recovery. And that's why I brought up Exo Submariner a moment ago. I don't know exactly how much time you have under your belt, Exo, but I know it's significant. And you are a part of the recovery community. I know I called you a skid mark and that you contribute nothing and things like that. That's wrong for me to say. To say that you contribute nothing when obviously you have people that say otherwise. And I just hope that when I reach your age or I have the amount of sobriety that I have, or the amount of sobriety you have under your belt, that someone like Rick can't affect me to the point where every day I go and I spew hatred about a person and fixate and obsess. I hope I don't become that way. And to each their own. If that's how you choose to work out your recovery and things like that, I'm not bagging on that. I guess I just hate bullies so much. And you coming over to my channel to not add anything to what I consider recovery and growth and community and things like that, I felt disrespected. Fair enough. But I've enjoyed the back and forth with you. I think it's turned into more of sparring than war. We're never going to see each other. You know, and I might have called you a coward because you're too afraid to get on camera. You know, you're probably you'd have to back up all that shit that you were saying, and I don't think that you probably have the looks. I don't know. But I think that if in real life, if you could get your hands on me, you would probably try to do something. So I don't think that you're a pussy. And you obviously have thick skin. I have thick skin myself. This stuff doesn't bother me. This is how I choose to work out my sobriety as well. This YouTube channel. Now, I would like to know what the fuck a dry drunk actually is. I could look up the term, and I will, but this is community. So what the hell is a dry drunk? Because I've been called that, it seems like about 3 or 4 times in the comments. A dry drunk. It sounds like something that would be kind of cool. You know, I don't have to drink and I could still be drunk. No, I would never want to be drunk ever again. It would mess up everything that I have going on in my life. I have a really good life. I've achieved, you know, here's something, Samantha. You were saying that you think I was probably an underachiever. I wonder what you consider um, an underachiever, what you consider a high achiever. You know, is it money? Is it cars? Is it homes? Is it, you know, having a wife, children, and those people respect and love you? You know, is it things? Is it people? What is it to you? I feel like I've been a high achiever. As a matter of fact, because of the way that I saw myself growing up, and I had to change that, and I did, but the way that I saw myself growing up, I always felt like I needed to overachieve on everything. And so I always strived to be the best in everything that I did. And I always, in every kind of career I've ever been, I've always been either a manager or a boss, leader of some sort. I own my own company now. I'm in my 7th year of my small residential painting company, and it's gone very well. This town has treated me very well. I carry myself with respect. I respect the people that I do business with. I teach my kids that respect is the currency, and that the experience with me is more important than chasing the money. We live in a small town, and even if the person who I was trying to make a sale towards, right? Even if they didn't go towards me, the interaction that they had with me is more important. And they'll talk about me to other people. And as a result of that, I usually stay 3 to 6 months booked. So I just was wondering what you consider a high achiever. What would any of you guys consider that? But I'm going to take a lighter tone. Like I told you guys, my intention with this channel is to be speaking with other content creators in the recovery space. And Rick is not a part of this space. And I've wasted your guys' time by even talking about him. I think that there is value in some of the things that I've said towards Rick. That's another reason why I've said them. I've told you guys from the beginning, I don't do it just for the views. I do acknowledge that using someone's name in your title and description or talking about certain people are absolutely going to get more views. I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to feel bad about that. And like I say, I do think that there's value in speaking directly to him and that landing on other people. Setting boundaries is a good thing. I set boundaries with Rick. You know, with XO, standing up for yourself, standing on your own opinions, standing up to bullies, being willing to not be afraid and be authentic and be yourself. That's an important lesson. It's something I needed to learn growing up, growing through this process and going through recovery. And I think that's mostly how anything, if anything comes from me, how that's how any of it's going to land, is just me talking directly to somebody, because that opens up avenues for me to share parts of my personal life. I'm not the best at telling stories. I'm way better at talking directly to people. And I'm still very new to YouTube. I know that I'm boring. I know that I talk slow. I talk deliberately for a reason. I don't really want to be too frivolous with my words. I'm sure that if I, or as I continue to move forward with my YouTube journey and my recovery and this community that I'm trying to build, I'll get better. I'll talk faster. I might even get better at stories. But I think that taking a lighter tone too is probably a better course of action for me. I'm not trying to come across as a tough guy or be serious all the time. And if you guys knew me in real life, I'm not the most serious person. Yeah, I got to be serious about my business and things like that. But most of the time, I'm just bullshitting with my friends and my family. And that's what I'd like to have here. I'm not trying to have war with all you guys. I hope that I've established that I personally won't be participating in piling on people. If you guys think someone is a sick, morbid, disgusting, blah 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 blah, that's between you guys. It doesn't do anything for my character to. It doesn't do anything good for my character to be verbally assaulting anybody, even you, XO. Unless it's just sparring. If we're just iron sharpens iron, you know, I understand men just need something to attack from time to time. You're not afraid of me, I'm not afraid of you. And it'll just keep our skills sharp. So I love the back and forth with you. We can keep on going with that. We're never going to see each other in real life when we look like a couple of fucking idiots talking all tough. I know I feel pretty stupid talking all tough on the internet and shit, you know. But I do want to acknowledge that I think that if you could get your hands on me, you'd probably try to lump me up pretty good. So I don't think that you're a pussy or anything like that. I do still have a hard time with if you're going to be talking about how people look and all this kind of shit, and then you're not even willing to put your own self out there on camera. You know, if you can't acknowledge how that looks, then I'll just leave the point alone. I don't need to hammer it. But this should be a community thing. We should be able to talk with each other. There should be no fear here. People should be able to say, for the most part, whatever they want. I'm just asking that maybe we don't degrade all the way to the level of cruelty and just become, worse versions of ourselves. But recovery is weird because people walk their own path, or where they walk their own recovery their own way. And that's why, maybe there's so many different kind of recovery channels. There's so many different kinds of people. Anyway, I want to lighten the tone. This is supposed to be Alcoholics Public, and I like it, man. I don't know if you guys like the name. I don't know if you. I don't care. I fucking love it. I like the idea. I like the concept that I have in my mind. I hope that I can work that out in front of you guys, and it turns into something successful and a good community. But I know that I need to change. I think that we should still roast each other. I think that that is something that is super important. I think that'll add to the, like I was saying, I want to lighten it up a little bit. I think that honestly, we should not get rid of the comedy. Samantha, you're very funny. You're very creative. Even though I don't like all the things that you've said about me, and as long as it's not like the cruel shit, you do this one thing where I think it kind of reminds me of like the morning paper or like a news story. I think that's hella funny. I think it's super creative. I don't really like to admit that I like anything that you do, but it's true. I like that. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I got to get to work. You guys have a great rest of your day on purpose. Okay, God bless you. I'm out of here.